Hi, so let's do a quick analysis on this weekend edition for the next week, and definitely we are also going to find out some trades for the expiry. So we are going to discuss all the stocks in alphabetical order, but as usual, please consult your financial advisor for your financial and intraday or investment related queries. So let's start with Aarti. जब तक 1000 के नीचे है, there's nothing we can expect. About India, nothing much. ABFRL, this is a very nice consolidation as long as the levels of 390 is held on a closing basis. Definitely this can actually shoot towards levels of 340 and 350 in the short term. AICC also, this is a very typical bearish structure. जब तक 2600 के ऊपर क्लोजिंग अगर आ गई तो इट्स गुड, एल्स दिस नॉर्मली हैज़ अ हायर प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फेलियर, एंड स्पेशली अगर 2450 के नीचे अगर क्लोजिंग आई देन डेफिनेटली इट विल इवन ब्रेक 2400 levels. Adani Enterprise also this is going good, but again we need a strong candle or at least a dip towards 1600 to validate this move. Adani Ports, it has to go over closing above 800. Alchem, this is a typical bearish structure. It had a good chance to move and give a closing above 3600. Till that time, it seems like this is not going to happen. And this is there are two ways in which this can pan out. Either this will go towards the levels of 3600, or it is going to linger at 3600, or this can actually अगर 3500 को breach करती है, then it will automatically within a very short span of time come much below 3400 levels. Amaraja Battery, there is nothing much. These are all typical bearish structures. Ambuja Cement also, this is just trying to dance around these levels, but going forward, the move should come really good because and really soon, in the sense that there has already been 5 sessions where it has not moved. So theoretically, what I'm expecting from here is either a good move like this, or at least it should give us some direction where it is trying to go. APL Limited also is somewhere in a box. Apollo Hospital near all time. So this is जब तक 5000 के नीचे है, there is nothing much we can do in Apollo Hospital. It seems like this is getting weaker, the uptrend, and any closing below 4500 can again be detrimental for this stock. Apollo Tire also, there is nothing much. It's more in a box between 240 and 220. Ashok Leyland, it tried to made a 52-week high at a 152 levels. Over here we took the trade, and then again since it was unable to close above 150, so we are still waiting for a confirmation about for the support at 140 levels. Asian Paint is dancing. 3200 is a very stiff resistance, and we are going to add and trade if it is able to move past 3200. Astral, I am still waiting for 2500 target. It seems like it's not able to do it. It is keeps on facing at a resistance round about at 2300 levels. So let's see if it is able to move past 2400 on a closing basis. So that would actually open up a huge potential towards 26 and 2700 levels. Atul, we discussed on this day, as this is going to be a weak structure, and till data it has not been able to recover. A closing above 9000 is very much needed. AU Bank is also, you can see is actually it's in a box. Nothing much. These are all structures. We can't say anything until and unless they give us a permanent a particular direction. Similarly, Bajaj Auto is also you can see it is very bearish. It was unable to hold the levels of 3700, and it is now corrected towards 3600, so there can be more downfall on this front. Both Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, they are both looking good, in the sense if they are able to hold these levels, 18,000 for Bajaj Finserv and 7,500 for Bajaj Finance, it can again go towards the earlier levels of 19,000 over here and 8,000 over here. Balakrishna Industry also, It seems like it is trying to get some support at 2400, but it looks really bearish, and going forward it can until and unless ये 2550 इन levels पे नहीं जाके close होती है, there is nothing much we can expect. But the good thing is, once those levels are reached and then theoretically 2600 is breached, then there can be a really quick move towards the levels of 2800. Bandhan Bank is also dancing in a box, and so is Bank of Baroda. It seems like Bank of Baroda is trying to get hold of this 100 level. Any closing below 100 is again going to take it down towards the levels of 90, and so these structures are something which have to be traded with a lot of caution, because it has already given a good return, and so eventually it might go into a distribution phase very soon. Bata India also, it made a all-time high at 2200 on this particular day, and then it was unable to give a closing above 2200. Right now it's still struggling, but again, if this 2100 agar breach hoti on a closing basis, then again it will come towards 2000 levels. BEL also trying to hold this levels. This is a nice consolidation which is happening. Jab tak 220 ke niche closing nahi aati hai, there is nothing much to worry. Bajaj Paint, this is a very typical bearish pattern, or very soon, if it is not able to take out the levels of 810, this is again going to correct, and especially agar 770 or 775 770 इस region में अगर के नीचे अगर closing आती है, then the any closing below 780 is going to take it again back towards the levels of 700. So Bharat Forge also, it made a all-time high over here, and then it started correcting, and it is now very near to a support of 750. Let's see how it goes from here. Bharti Airtel also, you can see it is now very near to 750 target, and this is a good short-term target which we had since few weeks now. And sometimes some stocks they take more time to meet their target. BHEL also a gap down, is trying to consolidate. Don't get fooled. Theoretically जब तक 64 और 67 के ऊपर जब तक closing नहीं आती है, there is absolutely no way this is going to to take care of these levels, and this can eventually correct towards the levels of 60. Biocon also, it's very important to have a closing on a closing basis 335 के ऊपर रहे, else it will again correct. For me, for long-term investments, definitely I will do some long-term investment in Biocon if it ever corrects towards the levels of 280. So let's see. Bosch also, nice consolidation is happening over here, and it looks really good. BPCL, there's nothing much. 450 is a strong resistance. Britannia also, this was on the result day, after the result, and theoretically it has been able to hold these levels, but there is absolutely no guarantee, and any closing below 3600 can actually drive the price way below 3400 levels. Birlasoft, it seems like it is stuck in a box. We traded on this particular day, and we made good money. We knew because we had discussed this on the last weekend, and so theoretically this move was pending, and then after in the next 4 days there was not much of a move. Cadil also 500 levels is dancing around these levels, so there is not much to expect from Cadila. Canara Bank also, nice consolidation is happening. As long as the levels of 225 is held, there is nothing much of an issue, and going forward a closing above 250 would actually take it towards the targets of 280 and 300. Canfin Home, nothing much. Chamble, there's nothing much with this company. Cholafin gave an all-time high closing, fantastic stock. We have been on this stock, and going forward definitely 650 is going to act like a support, so maybe it will shoot up towards levels of 670 680, and then eventually it will again come towards the levels of 650, and we will again be ascertaining the the position. So it has already given a breakout over this particular level of 725 625, which was the earlier all-time high targets, and from there you can see it has actually shot up very significantly in a very short span of time, and this actually showcases the momentum in the stock. Supply has been dancing between 900 and 920. Coal India also is one of the stocks I really don't care about or like. 160 के नीचे closing will be detrimental for the stock. Coforge, one of my favorites. This is not looking good, and eventually we should see a move, and depending upon that, if it again comes towards the levels of 5,000, I will again add, and if it goes to a 6,000, then I will book my profits. So this simple. Corp is trying to get some support at 1500 levels, but going forward there can be more weakness. अगर 1500 के नीचे closing आई, till date there is no confirmation of any reversal. Concord also is trying to get some support at 700, is acting like a resistance, so again it will be key. If it fails, it will again correct towards the levels of 650. Coromandel also is 800 is a tough resistance. जब तक उसके ऊपर क्लोजिंग नहीं आती, there is nothing much we can do. In fact, if any closing comes below the levels of 770, it will be detrimental, and the stock can then correct towards levels of 740 in short term. Crompton is also in a box, nothing much. City Union Bank, I think this 169 is an important zone, so right now let's hope it will get some support. So you can see it was in a box, and right now it's trying to get some support, so maybe 160 will give some support to City Union Bank, and a closing above 170 will again take it towards the levels of 177 and 180. Cummins India is also nicely consolidating, and I think this is a very typical structure which can give a good move, and we are waiting for a move over the levels of 950. Dabur also, there's nothing much. Dalmia Bharat is also trying for these levels. It's nice consolidating. It gave a breakout, and now it's trying to get some support. No matter what, any closing below the levels of 2070 is going to be detrimental, and there can be a correction towards levels of below 2000. Deepak Nitrite consolidating. We are just waiting for a signal. In any way, I think I will reserve for more weakness in this particular counter, and that's my view for most of the chemical counters. Delta Corp also, actually this structure you will also find in Earth Industry, and so this is nothing new. The whole sector is going through these particular structures. Delta Corp also trying to get a breakout over the levels of 300, so maybe a closing above 300 would be important now. If not, it can again correct towards the levels of 250. DV's Lab also 5,000 was an important support. It broke, it went, and there was a rejection. This actually showcases the weakness in the counter, and going forward it can actually correct towards the levels of 4,500. Dixon also is trying. This is a very typical structure of 5,000 के नीचे closing आई, there will be more weakness, and it will correct towards the levels of 4,000. But I guess this type of structures जब भी बनती है, and especially अगर ये levels of 5,600 would be important. अगर उसके ऊपर trade करने start करती है, then definitely this is going for 6,000 and all-time high. DLF also is in a box. Dr. Reddy 5,000 is a very strong resistance. These are typical bearish structures. Any closing below the levels of 4,700 is going to drive the price again towards 4,500. Anyway, we are just going to be interested in Dr. Reddy only when we have a closing above the levels of 5,000. Aisha Motor also 2,800 is an important level which we are going to track on a closing basis. Escorts, fantastic counter. We have been trading this counter for some time now, so the concept is pretty simple. Every time it dips below the levels of 1,500, it goes towards 1,440, 1,430, 1,420 levels, and the moment it breaks 1,500, it again goes and tries towards 1,570 and 1,600 levels. So this has been ongoing, and definitely going forward we expect this structure to remain the same. Exide is dancing between 170 and 190. Federal Bank also is in a box. In general, any closing above the levels of 105, we would be interested in Federal Bank, and any level of closing below 95 can again bring it back to the levels of 80. FSL also, it was trying to get some support. Breakdown came, and now you can see there is no follow up. No matter what, जब तक ये 205 के ऊपर closing नहीं देती है, we are not going to look at it. Gale also is in a box. It seems like it's bearish, and going forward is trying to get some support at 140 145 levels. So जब तक 160 के ऊपर closing नहीं आती, there is not much to be expected. Glenmark, it got some support at 500 levels, and again it's trying to move past this 530 levels, but it's still, so it's in a very narrow band. It's true for also GMR Infra is between 40 and 45. Going forward, a closing below 40 can be detrimental for the stock, and it can correct towards the previous support of 35 and 32. Godrej Consumer Products, it tried to get a support at 1000 levels, but it broke the support, and now this is acting like a resistance. So right now it's trying to get some support from 880. Seems like a good place where I will do some investment for long term in the long term portfolio if I get levels of 880 on Godrej Consumer Products. Godrej Properties also is in a box. There's nothing much. Granules is more in a box. There's nothing much. Grasim, nice consolidation is happening. I don't like the size of this particular candle, and 1900 के ऊपर it will again give a very good move, just like it did a very good move the day it broke 1800. We traded on this particular day, and we are just waiting again the same thing to happen above 1900 levels. GSPL is also more in a box. There is nothing much we can comment, or I can comment. Gujarat Gas is trying to broke 600, and then it immediately reversed. So this was a good a good sign. So we are still long, because हमारी strategy was simple थी. We told about that whenever the levels of 672 is taken out, this is going to be a long candidate, and we did achieve that on the last Friday. So right now I am in the position, and I think going forward 700 should be achievable, which will be a good 5% move from here. Hell, this is a typical bearish structure. Any move below the levels of 1360 is going to give us more bearish signs, but till that day we are just waiting for 1430 levels. So 1430 is going to act like a resistance for now. Let's see if it is able to move past it. Havels also is there was a gap down, and then it's trying to fill that gap. 1400 is a tough resistance. Scltec also is between 1200 and it is just in a band of 50 rupees. Going forward, I think 1200, once it will be taken out, and especially if the levels of 1220 are taken out, we will be adding more. HDFC went towards 2880 and 2900 levels over here on this particular day, after making all-time high at 3000, and now it's again back to 3000 levels. Any chance of it breaking levels of 3000 is going to give us a good move towards the levels of 3200. HDMC, this is a typical bearish structure. Going forward, अगर 2600 break करती है, then it can definitely correct towards 2400. HDFC Bank is also in between 1600 and 1550 levels. So we are just waiting for a strong move. Until and unless that comes, we would be skeptical of HDFC Bank. HDFC Life was able to get some support from 680 levels. ये हमारी एक long term investment levels थी. So right now we are just above 700, and I think 720 should act like a resistance for now in HDFC Life. Where is able to come forward, and just like it went towards, it gave a closing above 720, which was the resistance level. So we are just waiting for one more session. So the next Monday we would be adding positions in HDFC Life. It has been a long time since we have not created any positions in any of the insurance sector companies. We are just waiting for this storm to end, and now it seems like, especially after last Friday's move, it seems like there is some interesting stuff which is going to happen. Hero Motor Corp is like totally broken, or most of the big auto companies like Hero Motor Corp and Bajaj Auto, they are all broken structures. Hindalco made 52-week high, and then it corrected, and now it seems like 500 is like a tough resistance. I'm sure one of these days it will try to go towards 500 and it will face resistance, and then we would be creating our shorts. Or if 450 levels are broken, then it can again come towards levels of 400. Hind Petro also is between this levels of is at a 52-week high level. Very good structure, very nice consolidation is happening. Till the date it's able to hold the levels of 340. This is not going to be a problem. Hindustan Unilever also is dancing in these levels. Any strong move below 2400 is going to take it below 2200, and on the upside we are waiting for closing above 2450 levels. Then we can actually again think about 2500 and 2600 levels. So with this we end all the counters, FNO sector counters from A to H, and we are going to discuss I onwards in the part 2 of the video. You will find the playlist at the I, if you click on the upper right hand corner, the I button, or even at the end of the video. Hope you will find this informative, and as always thanks a lot for the tweets and the messages you do about after watching the video. It really helps me and motivates me. Bye bye.